defensive mechanisms. And when we combine it with Arabica, we get the drinkability of Arabica with the defensive qualities of Race Mosa. A side effect of this combination is that Race Mosa has a naturally low caffeine content, resulting in less bitterness in the final cup. So, Aramosa is grown in Brazil, specifically at the Terra Farms. The Terra Farms is located 1,200 meters above sea level in conditions perfect for growing coffee. So, during the spring and summer are the wet seasons. This is great for flowering and development of the coffee cherry. During the fall and winter are the dry season. This is great for maturing the coffee cherry and providing good weather for harvesting and processing. So judges, the reason I brought this coffee for you today is because of the effect it has had on my perception of coffee. Previously, I considered Brazilian coffees to be very heavy and rich in flavor, but immediately after drinking this coffee, no other coffee from any other growing origin compared to the delicate complexity and sweet juiciness this coffee offers. And it's from Brazil. But that's still not my favorite part about this coffee. That goes to the process. This coffee is used semi-carbonic maceration. So what that means is they hand-pick ripe cherries and place them in a stainless steel container. They then seal it. What happens is the cherries on the bottom level are crushed and release CO2. This expels all the oxygen from the chamber, creating an anaerobic environment. And this helps with the fermentation create a very complex acidity. But my favorite part about this process is that it's actually taken from wine processing. Farmers at doTERRA were able to change their perspective of how they look at processing to create something not only different, but amazingly delicious and original. But you'll have to wait just a bit longer for that, judges. So let's get into brewing. Today, I brought for you a Hario V60 ceramic. This is in order to keep the temperature of the slurry consistent. The brew ratio I'll be using today is 16:1. 17 grams of coffee and 272 grams of water. I've also pre-wet the filters in order to remove any cake. So the first pour I'll be doing today is a bloom of 55 grams. This helps to release any CO2 trapped in the coffee and create a great place for blooming. The water I'm using today is third wave water, and my kettle's set at 91 degrees Celsius. Judges, I brought the ceramic V60 for you today because of the clarity it provides the coffee and how it showcases vibrant acidity. I've also broken up the pores into stages in order to increase extraction and provide a juicy body. Aggressive pouring helps with turbulence in the slurry, creating even more extraction. My target TDS is 1.35. Now judges, feel free to turn over your menu and look at some key facts while I finish brewing. Now, judges, you can see today that I brought a second V60 with me. This is in order to double filter the coffee. Double filtering the coffee helps to improve clarity even further and allow the coffee to showcase its entire depth of flavor. Not only this, double filtering allows us to remove any lingering bitterness that may remain in the brew. So now, judges, if we look back at the menu, we can see that the body of this coffee is medium, and that the intensity of acidity is also medium. For the aroma, we get rose, apricot, and sweet apple cider. When we drink this coffee hot, we get red grapes, a malic acidity through green apple, and a sweet white wine. When we drink this coffee warm, we get even more flavor with an amazing, elegant, sparkling white wine.
3 minutes.
Crisp green apples now make that malic acidity. And all finished with roasted chestnuts. So now, judges, you can see I've also brought me a wine area. So what this does to the coffee is inject air and increase the speed at which oxidization and evaporation occur. What this means for the coffee is that firstly, the aromas are enhanced. Secondly, any astringency is filtered out. And lastly, the aerator works in harmonizing all the flavors together. So now hopefully you can see how a little change in perspective can allow you to take inspiration from other sources. So now, judges, please feel free to assess the aroma, but don't drink yet. Now, judges have specially chosen these cups because they are made especially for rosé and sparkling wine. What this does for the aroma is capture and direct it, while the shape of the glass highlights the tartaric acidity and opens up the coffee to reveal its full range of flavor. Now, judges, I'm so thankful that I could be here today to share my experience. And hopefully, I've changed your perspective slightly on how you view the entire coffee process, from growing to drinking. Now, I won't make you wait any longer to enjoy it. So, thank you. Please enjoy it. Bye.
Griffin.
Hello.
That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, how did that feel for you?
Fun. Exciting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love the coffee, and I love kind of the method we found for it, so I was really excited to share this with everyone.
I'm very interested to see the double filter aeration.
Yeah, it's some people are a little skeptical, but from what we found, it really worked with this coffee really well.
Okay, amazing. Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about Aramosa? I know it was in your speech, but I saw a bunch of people in the crowd thinking, what's that all about?
So Aramosa, Aramosa is a new species of coffee that's combining two different species of coffee.
Okay.
So usually people see Arabica and Robusta, but this is Arabica and Reichl. So Reichl is non-commercial. You don't really see it used anywhere, but it has that naturally extremely low caffeine. It's technically decaffeinated or uncaffeinated. But when you combine them, they work really well together, and you get this low caffeine, low bitterness, super nice harmonious cup.
Right, so caffeine as a bittering agent contributes 1.3, 1.5% of traditional Arabica coffee. This is a variety that has just about 0%?
Not quite, but very low.
Very low. So less perceived bitterness, which will increase and elevate the acidity and sweetness. If I've got that correct?
Perfect.
Yeah, amazing. And the farm that it's grown on?
Is Doterra. So Doterra is actually a really big farm in Brazil. It has 6,600 hectares. They grow tons of coffee, but this is from a masterpiece collection, which means it's a very special variety of coffee they grow, and the process is very special also. So Doterra is working to kind of innovate this coffee world with the processing and varietals. So it's really exciting to get coffee.
I think it's really exciting to see their coffee here in the Brewers Cup finals.
Yeah.
Just the idea of having a Brazilian coffee for a filter coffee competition in the finals representing is amazing. I think it shows progress and progress in the industry and what's happening, and I think it's fantastic. Do you have anybody you want to thank?
Well, firstly, my coaches and all my friends and family watching home.
Yeah, the live stream is going wild. Wild.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to hear. And then, Transcend, 8 Ounce, all you guys for helping out here is really amazing to come here.
Nice. Nice. Are you a big wine fan?
Medium. One beer, but I like wine a lot. Now, this really has opened me up to, because I did a ton of research about aerating, a ton of research about white wines, and we tasted a bunch of wines, and wines processed in this way because it is taken from wine process.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think it's fascinating to learn, about beer, about wine, about other things that are similar but also different, because we can take inspiration from one into coffee.
Yeah.
So I love that you're, taking a lot of stuff that's explored through the wine side of things.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to try this coffee. I'm gonna let myself in there when these guys are all done. Does anybody have any questions for Griffin? So you're all the way from Vancouver. You might not get the opportunity to ask him something again.
We drove 13 hours, so that's one
13
fact.
hours.
One day.
Anyone anything for Griffin? Do you have any of this coffee to maybe share if we do a little giveaway?
Yeah.
No pressure if not, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure we have some for a giveaway.
I know we have more compulsory coffee to give away.
Compulsory is fun. Good coffee.
What else can we talk about here, Griffin? The light was just perfect for your set, by the way. The video is going to be great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was super fun, and it was really it's so much about learning, and that's really why I love. This is my first year, but it's really why I love it. I really want to keep going. It's learning so much about everything.
How long have you worked in coffee?
Just around 4 or 5 years.
Okay. And all with Timbertrain?
No, I've done 2 with Timbertrain and kind of scattered